David, it's Friday.
Really?
Do you know
Cool.
it's Friday?
Yeah, it's Friday for sure.
All right, let's just cut right into it because I want to get this off to the racetrack real fast. All right. You know, in our seems like every single rant, like it sort of goes in trends. What sparked the protests and unrest on January 7th? Was U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, aka ICE, fatally shot a 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good in South Minnesota. Federal officials initially said the driver attempted to hit the driver.
No, the officer.
Local
Driver
officials,
attempted to hit the officer.
Local officials showed videos that question the narrative. There comes an incident near George Floyd level. The incitement by government and news agencies has risen to a level where Charlie Kirk gets shot on a stage. A shot goes over the ear of the President of the United States. In week after week, the Democrats are preaching death to Republicans, death to ICE, death to law enforcement, death to immigration agents, death to anyone that doesn't agree with me. On January 14th, another ICE agent shot a Venezuelan man in the leg during an attempted stop in Minneapolis. The large majority, not all, but then again, what incursion did any other government do in history didn't have good casualties? Tension, protests, and the response is normal. You raise a hand to law enforcement, you get the club. What are you thinking? Local leaders, including this dumbass governor and the mayor of Minneapolis, have criticized federal action and demand independent investigations. However, they refuse to give any access whatsoever to law enforcement to prevent this from hiding, citing constitutional concerns. Fucking hypocrites, David. You want to be a fucking hypocrite? It seems that you're now only a Democrat. Listen, the Republicans are not innocent in this either. The Republicans are feeding the fuel, fanning the fire, throwing kerosene out there. And a president who does what he says and says what he does will literally go in and call it insurrection and deal with the state in which the method it needs to be dealt with. It's as if Tim Walz, Tampon Tim, wants to be taken out in handcuffs. They're looking for the large scale riot. They're looking for the mass murder. They're looking for something to change the course of Donald J. Trump's presidency. Minnesota is experiencing significant civil unrest. Is it naturally caused? Are there outside agitators? The situation is polarizing. Makes the 60s Vietnam War riots look like, I don't know, Mary fucking Poppins. If you want to break it down by legal framework, then someone who incites and yells fire in a movie theater needs to be put into shackles. And if that includes the governor of Minnesota, put him in shackles. If the mayor is doing it, put him in shackles. You cannot incite violence. You cannot threaten. You are not given the right as a member of government to do this. We, the people, didn't elect you to cause internal wars. We, the people, elected you to govern the people. Who are the people? Those are not the people who just so happen to be there. Those are the people that bought the land, paid for the land, worked the land. It's called citizens. There is a difference, you morons. It's not the poor immigrant. Yes, They're in a lot of them are in really bad situations, but because you have no checks and balances, you have caused a timeline that is likely going to end poorly. Sorry.
No, listen, hey, let's put something on the table, Stuart, right? Number one, they pulled a Trump tactic. Yeah, that's right. The left has pulled a Trump tactic. Over here, you have the Somali fraud scandal. It's a beautiful thing, right? Siphon dollars gone, and no heads have rolled. And you could see that things were getting worse for Tim Walz, Elon Omar, and many others. And right at that, they were looking, how do we divert the media's attention? How do we divert the people's attention? Here's an opportunity. We got to find it. ICE agents. Perfect. Right on cue. Exactly what we needed to get people off the Somali story and blame Trump as usual. TDS, Trump derangement syndrome, continues to infect the media and the left to such an extent that it's like, perfect, let's divert the attention from here to here. It's a Trump tactic, by the way. People don't even realize how often he makes noise over here so that he can focus over here. Your intention's here. He's doing something over here. And that's exactly what Tim Walz and Jim and Mayor Fry from Minneapolis did. But here's the thing, Stuart. What they did was not wrong. It was absolutely scandalous. Tim Walz asked and pleaded with the citizens to film ICE agents posted online. Excuse me? Tim, you are the mayor. You are the governor. And as the governor, your responsibility is to the safety of your citizens. And you called for what? Oh, yeah, more anarchy. By posting these videos that people edit and cut and trim, and people will not see the whole story because God forbid, you'll put out the whole story. As you alluded to earlier, Stuart, the original videos showed that it was, let's position in such a way that it was the ICE agent. And what we found out later on is that this lady was scoping the area looking for a problem. And then she ran over the police officer who's now, dealing with some serious injuries. That doesn't matter. What matters is that the left can say whatever they want and get away with it. What mayor in their right mind says, get the fuck out of my city? We saw this in Chicago. We see this in other places. What you're doing is exposing that they are incompetent. Stuart, the United States electorate across the country voted Donald Trump as president on one of the platforms was to clean up the Biden immigration mess. Not legal immigration, illegal immigration. And I had this whole debate with somebody who came here from Seattle who's telling me that Donald Trump is a Hitler and a Nazi and he's got his stormtroopers. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You have no clue what you're talking about. That is media rhetoric. That's the stuff you hear on The View. That's the stuff that you hear in social media channels. These are absolute false statements. There is a law, and he's applying the law. If you are there illegally, guess what's going to happen? If you're a member of a criminal gang, guess what's going to happen? And the second shooting that you alluded to, Stuart, earlier was a Venezuelan gang member, allegedly. Let's use that word, right? And this person ran away, attacked ICE agents, and the answer is we should protect everybody. No. I'm sorry. We incarcerate criminals for a reason. But to incite what Tim Walz and Jacob Fry, by inciting more violence, you're teaching people to defy authority. No wonder our children are messed up. No wonder our children are cursing out teachers, police officers, go to baseball and football and hockey games and are viciously disrespectful to people, screaming and threatening referees. No wonder, because our leaders are doing that. And yes, Donald Trump is a crass son of a bitch who's made statements that, it's disrespectful too. But don't tell me that Trump is an ass and disrespectful, and then you go and do it. Mayor Jacob Fry finally realized what he did was wrong. He didn't apologize. He didn't say he did something wrong, but he said, I'm calling for peace. Everybody has a role in achieving that peace, and we're going to try and do everything we can to keep it. Duh. Your sanctuary city is harboring criminals, gang members, drug dealers, rapists, murderers, and you're okay with that. But there are a lot of people who voted for Donald Trump who are not okay with that and want to see the law applied not regionally and geographically, but nationally. Just because it doesn't suit your opportunism, and just because you want people to stop looking into the Somalia affair, don't make that problem worse. Yes, the people at The View love to call Donald Trump Hitler, make up stories like he's going to cancel the midterm elections, like he's going to he's got stormtroopers, and that we need more security and all kinds of stuff. If you accuse the right and conservatives, Stuart, of ramping up all this crazy stuff. There's a professor in a university who called for death to conservatives. This is not right. These statements are wrong. I get free speech, but this isn't free anymore. This is hate speech. This is calling for violence and death and should not be permitted. If you do not like what happened on January 6th, 2021, where allegedly Trump called for, and again, use the word allegedly called for an insurrection, if you want to go out and prosecute him on those things, then Tim Walz and Jacob Fry should be also arrested for inciting violence. You can't have it both ways. You're either on the side of right and on the side of authority and on the side of peace and law-abiding citizens, or not. But you can't have one group getting one set of rules, Stuart, and another group set another rules. Your favorite expression, rules for me and not for thee, get out of here. You were elected by people to serve and to protect. It's on police cars. It was in your, it's in your vows. You know what, Stuart? The saddest part, with this I'll wrap up. The people making these statements don't even know their own laws. The people like Jacob Fry and the people like Tim Walz don't even know the Constitution, do not know the legal responsibilities. They are talking puppets for the Democratic Party. It's just about to win the next election. It has nothing to do with you and me, people. It's got to do with maintaining power.
And, I got to tell you, I don't have much to add to that because I let it all out, David.
I know that.
I'm just...
Stuart, here's a thought for everybody, okay? Here's a thought for you folks. If in your neighborhood you knew there was a criminal, and I want to tell you something, people, way back when Stuart and I were living in Toronto many moons ago, there was a husband and a wife who raped and murdered the wife's sister. Okay, Paul Bernardo. Remember that name, Stuart? Going back many years ago. His wife was released in the Greater Montreal area after she served her sentence. No one said anything. No one, the police, no one from the community said anything. I'm sorry, from the authorities said anything. But when the community found out she was there, they were absolutely mortified to know that this murderer was in their community. She was a legal citizen. They were angry that a murderer was let go and was permitted to live in their community. How come that outrage has disappeared when it comes up to, illegal immigrants who are here as known criminals, unvetted by the immigration, because Biden won an open border? You want criminals in your community? Okay, here's the catch. They'll be only in your community. They'll stay in your community. They won't be allowed to leave that community, and you get to deal with the repercussions of that. Because to wake up and to yell and scream about a lady who ran over an ICE agent is more important than you being upset about parents losing their daughters to rapists and murderers here in the country. And there are plenty of stories where you didn't care. But this morning, you're fighting for a white woman that you vilified 5 minutes ago. You guys kill me with your hypocrisy, Stuart. Just kill me.
And David, I'm wrapping this up. All right, guys, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, noon Eastern, David and I rattle it down in the public, in the private. But anyway, it's awesome. See you next time.